The eastern Caribbean island of Antigua is a treat for the eyes. All of its 14 miles are saturated with color, from the sailboats at rest to restless lizards and pink shacks. Classy resorts like Harmony Hall live side by side with a vibrant native culture, and the secluded beaches with their white talcum sand and deep blue waters are almost mesmerizing. Looking down at English Harbour at the winding, dramatic coastline, it's easy to see why the British Admiral Horatio Nelson made the island Great Britain's most important Caribbean base. The capital, St. John's, can be gritty, but the people are welcoming and the food is fun. The trade winds keep the island's air soft and attract windsurfers and sailors. And when you leave, the islanders will probably call out in their rich accents, "We long for to see you. I'm longing to see you again."
Or how about exploring Antigua in a 4x4 Jeep? They're able to reach remote parts of the island most visitors never get to see. Discover the real Antigua as you pass through tiny villages along hidden trails and coastal roads. A thrilling way to explore this beautiful island. Or how about exploring Antigua in a 4x4 Jeep? They're able to reach remote parts of the island most visitors never get to see. Discover the real Antigua as you pass through tiny villages along hidden trails and coastal roads. A thrilling way to explore this beautiful island.
In the early 16th century, the island that is now known as Antigua was colonized by the British, who established large plantations to take advantage of its warm climate. The native population was dying, stricken by disease and musket. The British needed a larger, more stable workforce to man the large plantations. They shipped their workforce in on slave riggers from Western Africa.
For generations, the black Antiguan was enslaved, until finally, in 1981, the island received its independence. After independence, not everything was as expected, and the people were certainly not free. Rather than being held in service on the plantations, they would remain second-class citizens, segregated and in constant servitude of the tourism industry and foreign investors. Antiguans found themselves in the pockets of institutions like the Barclays Bank. A government devoted to national and personal profit diverted funds from education and infrastructural reform to build the V.C. Byrd International Airport, and towards encouraging foreigners to build large resorts. Money that could have been spent developing adequate health care on the island, or perhaps rebuilding the library that had been derelict since the earthquake in the 1970s.
In the book that the way a life unfurls is never as you have imagined it. Is that true of your own life?
When I wrote that, I was actually thinking of my own life. Of course, it has a curl to it. It sounds as if the narrator sounds as if she was imagining something grand, and instead she ends up with less grand. But in my own life, I could not have imagined writing, the possibility of writing. I've always wanted to write. I just didn't know it was possible when I was imagining my life. I wanted to be Charlotte Bronte, but she was long dead. So I imagined being a dead person.
When you arrived in the US, you were sent here, as I said, to be a maid.
Yes.
In Westchester,
Yes.
in New York.
Yes.
And when you walk, I don't know if you walk around here and you see women from the islands who are maids and nannies, do you ever think, well, there's another Jamaica Kincaid in there?
That could have been me. Absolutely could have been me. In fact, it was me. I don't quite understand how I got out of it, I mean, when I think of just going to school at nights while being a nanny, and then leaving my safe job as a nanny and going off into the world, renting an apartment with girls in New York City that I didn't know, I found in an advertisement, all those things just seem sort of incredible. They probably are not as lucky as I was. I lived with a wonderful family, especially the mother in the family, who was incredibly generous and kind and loving to me. I've just been very lucky my entire life. I've never said no to any kindness. I've always just taken it and said thank you and ran with it. Yeah.
Antigua hasn't changed much from the days of Jamaica Kincaid's novel A Small Place, which took place in the late 1980s in regards to tourism, the beaches, and the poverty.
A study published by UNICEF in 2007 outlines the amount of poverty in Antigua at just under 20%, roughly 18% of the population. This does not include the extra 10% who are considered vulnerable but have not reached below or at the poverty line of $2,366 per year. According to statistics from the government of Antigua for the year 2013, Antigua had a total of 852,250 people visit the country, 608,318 visitors by sea, and 243,932 people by air. Of these 608,318 visitors, 80%, roughly 6,800... Fuck! I'm gonna just get that one again. According to statistics... Fuck me. Oh my god. According to statistics from the government of Antigua for the year 2013, Antigua had a total of 852,250 people visit the country, 608,318 visitors by sea, and 243,932 people by air. Of these 608,318 visitors, 80%, roughly 681,800, visitors cited their reason for visiting as vacation, while 4%, roughly 34,090 of the visitors, were there for business. 11%, roughly 93,748 visitors, were there to visit relatives or friends, and the other 5%, roughly 42,613 visitors, were there for other reasons. The United States was the largest of arrivals for air travel, with 88,818 visitors coming by air from the U.S. versus the next largest country of arrival, which was the U.K., coming in at just below 70,000 visitors. There were no statistics by country for sea arrivals, which makes up the majority of visitors for 2013, coming in at 608,318 visitors total. These visitor numbers are staggering compared to the 2013 population of Antigua, which comes in at 89,985.
O land of peace, haven of rest, Antigua, your shores are blessed with the sweat of those who toiled in bondage to till the soil. From black hands, sweet shoulder flowed. Many died with each cane load. From bondage came a new dawn. Antigua was born, but my people fought on for 400 years. Oppressed, faces drenched with tears. So now that we have become a free nation, sound the drum. Antigua, freedom forever. For many years we were governed by the laws of Great Britain, forced to produce in a quantity goods for Europe's white gentry. In our rules, no say had we.